Great British Bake Off is a tradition. It's a beautiful British tradition. It's something that I was invited to personally due to my previous relationship with Mary Berry. Mary Berry is a sweetheart, and she's a badass. She'll stab you just as soon as smile at you, but if you can't bake, then she ain't got the time for you. Everybody's talking about what they gonna make, what the first challenge gonna be. Everybody real nervous and everything like that, and I'm just excited I'm gonna get a warm meal. So they pop in the tent. There's Sue Perkins, looking all lovely and beautiful, and Melanie Godric, and then in comes my old friend Mary Berry. And I said, Mary, you son of a bitch, I knew you was gonna get me in a tent someday, just like that old gypsy woman said, and now we gonna have to fight to the death. Well, she had to pretend she didn't know me, you know, as you do when you see a transient individual covered in filth. She just kind of acted like, oh, I don't know nothing about no gypsy curse, but what you gonna do is you gonna make me some cakes. So they say, bakers, we want you to bake us a cake. And I say, all right, well, I'm gonna bake you a cake. And they say, hold on, take it again. We talk in this part, and you ain't, this ain't no call and response. And I say, all right, my apologies, my first time on reality television, which was a lie. I know how reality TV works. They say, bakers, we need you to bake us a cake. And it turns out I was under my breath. I was just kind of saying, yeah, I'm gonna bake you a cake, I'm gonna bake you a cake. And they were picking it up with the boom mics, and they ain't too pleased about that. So Sue Perkins walks back to my baking station, which was in the back on the left, next to the microwave and the freezer. She pulls out this knife. Now, this, I do love my hatchet. It is very useful and friendly, but the fact of the matter is, this don't even begin to express how horrifying and large the knife is Sue Perkins pulled out of somewhere. I believe it was from behind her blazer. Maybe she got some extra dimensional space. So she says, you gonna sit here quietly, and we gonna finish our line, or I'm gonna carve you up and serve you during bread week. I say, Sue, say no more. I got nothing but respect for you and that knife. I'm gonna sit here quietly. I ain't gonna mumble to myself. I'm gonna keep it under control. And she says, you damn well better. I sat there real quiet, started shoving flour and heating pads and whatever in my mouth so my mumbles ain't gonna come out, if you understand what I'm saying. So she go up there and she do her bit, and she said, it's cake week, bake us a cake. Mary Berry standing there looking lovely. Pa Hollywood standing there looking lovely. And they say, bakers ready, set, bake. All right, so I launch into it immediately. First thing I do is walk over to the person next to me and right in the back of their leg. They ain't in the competition no more, because they laying on the floor, screaming and moaning, and suddenly Sawtooth got 2 stations he can work off of. Infinite resources, that's the name of the game. While they was taking care medically of that person, I start rolling around on the bottom of the tent, just kind of scrabbling around, crawling around, looking left and right, looking for bugs, because what else you gonna make a cake out of except for bugs? This was to my advantage, because wasn't nobody else making cakes out of bugs. Nobody even incorporating no bug flour into their cake. Someone was making one that had frosting on it, and another one had some kind of creme pat. And you know what? I ain't interested. I was a little interested, to be honest, because at this point I hadn't ate in 6 to 7 months. I had only survived on kind of a week's sunlight, filtering through a cheesecloth, and also, you know, the concept of agriculture. I was, you know, checking out the other cakes, and everybody keeping their distance from me, because when the cameras start rolling, there ain't nobody calling cut, because this reality TV. I called cut when I slashed that person's tendon. That's neither here nor there. The cameras kept rolling. Everybody just kind of keeping their distance. They don't know what I'm about to do. I got about, you know, 8 or 9 bugs and a rabbit whose skull I just caved right in. I just reached out the tent, grabbed the rabbit, pulled it in, crushed the skull, immediately got to work. Because at this point, I got about, about half an hour left. So I start mixing up my cake, crushing up the rabbit skull and the furry and the bugs, flour, sugar, cream, and the butter. Gotta cream the butter if you want a good cake. Don't want it to get, you know, underbaked. You want to have a nice rise on the cake. Throw it in the oven. Everybody's horrified. They just kind of hanging back. They just want to know what I'm gonna do and if I'm gonna stab them. So my cake comes out. It's pretty good. It's pretty good. As far as first week on Great British Bake Off go, it's pretty good. And it's enough to get me to the next round. Or at least so I think. Cause somebody gonna do something stupid. Somebody gonna put salt in their cake instead of sugar. Somebody gonna set something on fire. Cause it always happened week 1 in the Great British Bake Off. So I'm just making an okay cake and I'm gonna slide under the radar. That's the secret. That's what the good ones do. Just slide under that radar. So my cake come out. It looked lovely. Smelled like meat and blood. I used the rest of the insect parts as kind of a frosting. I've pureed at this point and added a little bit of creme de menthe and some sugar and then a little bit of sugar work on top, and it looked like it all jumping, like sparkling. Time ran out. And I say, all right, that's good. Cake is done. Down to the last minute. That was a close one. And I look around and ain't nobody else got cakes. They all just looking at me. And I say, well, let's get this judging underway. Cause clearly I'm the only one with a cake, and you sons of bitches, at least one of yins, maybe two, you out the tent. I strut my cake up to the gingham altar, and I put it there behind my photo so they don't know it's me. Photos facing my way, cake facing their way. Pa Hollywood don't really know what to make of the situation. Mary Berry knows this par for the course. I come to discover later that all this was a scheme because Mary Berry, number 1, is a professional. Number 2, loves eating rabbit bud cake. And this was a scheme so that she could get some rabbit and bug cake without doing it in public. And now she gonna eat this rabbit bug cake because she a professional. And I'm on the show and she on the show and she got tasted. And everybody gonna say, oh, she's so professional. And that filthy man gonna go away. It was her from the beginning. It was a conspiracy of the highest order, and by the highest order I mean one old lady got me to bake a cake out of bugs and rabbits so that she could taste it on national television. And I gotta tell you, I made it all the way to pâtissier week, and I failed. I just put my bread was underproofed, and it didn't go so great. But that first day ain't nothing like that first day. Let's set the record straight now. Mary Berry loved bug and rabbit cake. And I love bacon.